Starting with the Financial Advisors Association of Canada, Mr. Pollock, President and CEO. Mr. Pollock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Delight to be here and to present before the committee. Abacus is the oldest and largest voluntary association of financial advisors and planners in Canada, with about 13,000 members across the country. Our goal is to work cooperatively with decision makers and the public, stressing the value of financial advice and striving for an environment in which all Canadians have access to the advice they need. Small business financial advisors primarily work out of independent agencies or as exclusive advisors of life insurers and independent mutual fund and securities dealers. They are provincially licensed to provide various financial products to the public. There are about 78,000 small, medium-sized business financial advisors in Canada, servicing more than 13 million client accounts. Financial advisors are a vital part of Canada's economy and are crucial to the long-term financial health of Canadian families and small businesses, representing $19 billion in direct GDP. Canada's small business financial advisor sector is larger than the pharmaceutical sector, the aerospace sector, and the motor vehicles industries. Our sector accounts for 180,000 direct jobs and about $4.5 billion in total tax revenues. But the greatest value to the Canadian economy is what financial advisors do for their clients. Small business advisors are uniquely positioned to provide advice to middle-class Canadians. Over 80% of all households have less than $100,000 of investable assets. The average client assets under management is $49,000, and the average life insurance coverage is $187,000. In aggregate, Canadian households receive $27 billion annually from life insurance, annuity, and health benefit payments derived from individual solutions provided by life insurance advisors. Small business financial advisors manage $650 billion in financial assets for Canadians. People who receive financial advice are more financially secure, are better protected, better prepared for retirement and unexpected life events than people who do not receive advice. Economic studies have shown that advised households have up to 4 times the financial assets compared to that of non-advised households. Public policy should be aimed at giving Canadians greater access to professional financial advice. You know, as the Minister of Finance said this week, quote, "The economy is doing well. We are in the best place in a decade," end quote. We agree. The Canadian economy is growing at a strong pace. That is why we have taken a keen interest in the government's proposals to change the taxation of Canadian-controlled private corporations. Small business is the lifeblood of the Canadian economy. The 13,000 financial advisors that Abacus represents are not only small businesses themselves, but they advise hundreds of thousands of small businesses across Canada with financial planning, succession and estate planning and tax planning advice. The Small Business Coalition rightfully pointed out in our recent letter to the Minister of Finance that the changes to passive income rules could potentially result in a tax burden of 73% on corporately earned investment income and 59% on corporately realized capital gains. The Coalition also points out that the changes to income sprinkling will have an impact on all small businesses, not just ones making over $150,000 per year. Finally, the tax bill for intergenerational transfers that result from the death of an owner could increase by 15 to 20%. None of this, however, is new to you as members of the committee, so allow me to make an argument that doesn't solely rely on statistics or economic models. Building a business is not an easy thing to do. They are built with blood, sweat, and tears. People use their life savings to start a small business. They take out loans, lines of credit on their houses, and borrow from friends and family. They work 80 to 90 hours a week and deal with a level of stress that often goes unseen. And at the end of the day, the sad reality is that most of the time, small businesses do not succeed. The financial advice industry is changing. Robo-advisors, regulatory challenges, and increasingly aggressive large institutions continue to put pressure on small business financial advisors. These tax changes will not only make it more difficult for small business financial advisors to stay competitive and expand their businesses, but they will limit the options for the small businesses they advise. The tax changes will make it harder for these businesses to grow at a time when large institutions in some sectors are rapidly expanding their reach. The proposals aside, our members feel that the process and some of the language that was delivered throughout the process was not collaborative. Our members and their clients continuously hear from the government that these are tax loopholes, and these changes will only impact the wealthy and those who make over $150,000, when we know this is not the case. The consultation was launched in the middle of July and finishes just 2 weeks after the summer, and to us, that's a very short window for these fundamental changes. We would ask this committee, through the pre-budget process, to convey to the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance the concerns and challenges many organizations like Abacus have faced and identified during this very short consultation. We are worried that this is being rushed through. We must ensure that this is the right public policy for Canada.
Thank you, Mr. Pollock. I don't